Brett Favre talked about this yesterday too, and the one thing he communicated with Aaron Rodgers, the one thing that stuck out to me, Rodgers told Favre, "I'll touch base with you when this is all over," which serves as further confirmation that there's something.
There's a lot of crap going on, yeah.
That will be over at some point. Not, hey, Brett, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Brett, it's all fake. It's all phony. It's no big deal. I'll touch base with you when this is all over. That tells us everything that we need to know. One more point, though, that was raised yesterday by Rob Demovsky of ESPN. And it was one of those little things that was tucked into a longer column that just you look at and you say, oh, wow. The Packers believe that the 49ers and the Broncos have tampered with Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to do anything about it because they know how hard it is to prove tampering. And even if you can prove it, it's hard to get the NFL to do anything about it. It's such an arbitrary decision that the NFL makes. The last time they hit anyone with tampering was the Chiefs with Jeremy Maclin because they talked directly to him, not to his agent, during the window when they were allowed to talk to his agent. Stupid. And everyone does it. But Chris, it's jarring to see it in writing, but when you think about it, well, yeah, at some point, Dave Dunn probably called the 49ers and the Broncos, and if they do anything other than hang up the phone immediately when he starts talking about Aaron Rodgers, it is tampering.
Yeah, that's where I want to just go, it's tampering, but, I don't know a coach who wouldn't – they all take tampering serious to a degree to, how you explained it, like direct contact with a player or anything like that. That's a no-no. Coaches don't do that. And I have a hard time thinking that any move or trying to reach out to Rodgers, just in my experience being around it with my dad, my own career, following the business now, I would have a hard time thinking the Broncos or the 49ers were the ones to reach out to start any type of conversation. No way. My history around the NFL in this type of situation would be the exact opposite. Tampering was done by the player. And what is the NFL to do about that? It's like you said, hey, Aaron's interested in your team. What? This is tampering. Hang up. Come on, that's not realistic. That's right. Not going to happen. That's not how the sausage is made in the NFL.
That's what drives me crazy about the tampering rule,
right?
Because that is required. I remember a few years ago, Adrian Peterson called Jerry Jones, or so he was on the phone. He ended up on the phone with Jerry Jones. He started talking about how much he'd like to play for the Cowboys, and Jones engaged him in the conversation.
Right.
In reality, what Jones should have done was immediately end it and contact Ziggy Wilf, the owner of the Vikings, and say, hey, your player called me up and started talking to me about playing here. You need to know about this. That's what the rule requires. But that's not how the rule is enforced. And, Chris, I wrote about this last night at PFT. On one hand, I see the benefit in filing tampering charges because it could maybe back teams off. It's the warning shot at everyone. Don't mess with our guy. On the other hand, 2 points. One, everybody tampers, so you're going to set yourself up for tampering charges if you start making them.
Yeah.
And two, does it really matter at this point? Tampering becomes a problem when it puts ideas in a guy's head that maybe he decides at the end of the day, I'd like to leave. You already are at the point where the guy says, I'd like to leave. He's shouting it without really saying it. So it's not like there can be any more damage done to the relationship. The relationship is already fractured, possibly beyond repair, but nothing any team does at this point to try to convince Aaron Rodgers to play for them is going to make a difference.
No, exactly right. Yeah. And again, I just don't know. There's no rule. What's the rule for getting a player in trouble for tampering? Because
there is none.
I know.
You're allowed to.
Right.
That's what's weird
That's
about
what's
it.
weird. Exactly right. Yeah.
The best example is this. When you go to a veteran player who's due to make $5 million this year and you say, we only want to pay you $2 million, we need your decision tomorrow. The agent's job at that point is to call every other team and basically find out what else is out there.
Right.
And if it's more than $2 million, somewhere between 2 and 5, maybe he gets lucky and it's more than 5. But that's what you're expected to do as the agent. But any team that engages in that conversation has engaged in tampering.
Right.
But it happens all the time. It happens before free agency. It happens with veteran players who are facing pay cut ultimatums. It happens all the time. That's why it would be unfortunate for the Packers to do it. They did it in 2008 with the Vikings, with Brett Favre. But again, these are things that aren't initiated by the team. They're initiated by the player or his agent. And I firmly believe it happened here.
Yeah.
But I also believe the league would never do anything about it. And it's not going to matter. There's no reason to try to scare anyone away everybody already knows where this thing stands. And
yeah, you're right.
The only question is where it goes from here.
Yeah, and who knows? I don't know where it goes from here. I really don't. I guess what right now, if I had to make a guess, I feel like the trade's not going to happen. Rodgers is going to come back for 1 year. He's going to be the one that bends and say, screw it. And he's going to make it known that this is his last year in Green Bay. That's what I'm going to bet on. I don't think he's willing enough to get dirty to make a trade happen now and say no. I think he's going to come back and he'll get it out through the channels that, listen, I'm on a lame duck thing. They're not supporting me. And he's going to basically make it clear that this will be his last year with the Green Bay Packers. That's what I'm going to say now.
Why would he blow it up in the offseason if he was willing to come back for another year? Why would he do that?
Like you always said, I don't know, but I think he tried to do it quietly and not blow it up for a long time and gave them, some red flares shot into the air to be like, hey, warning, 1 month left, warning, 2 months left. Like, you got to do something. I'm not happy. And I think he just must have gotten to the point where he felt like he had to blow it up here to get some movement or get the conversation going the way he wanted.
I remember back during that 2-day window after he spoke following the loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that set off the firestorm of, holy crap, he may not be back. And I had reported that it was a contractual issue, that he wanted to have the security.
Right.
He was going to be the guy for multiple years. He goes on Pat McAfee's show, and it's, we have these conversations all the time. Oh, it's no big deal. Bull
crap.
You know what?
Yes.
And again, as we've said from time to time, and we'll continue to say, believe no one, believe nothing. And our function is to tell you what's really going on when the folks involved say what they have to say as they try to win the PR side of it. There's always something deeper that is lurking that is far closer to the truth. The truth for the 49ers is they did make a phone call about Aaron Rodgers. I think it was more than just Kyle Shanahan calling Matt LaFleur and Matt LaFleur saying you're wasting your time. Regardless, they ended up with Trey Lance. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. The owner of the team talked about the plan moving forward.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.